Hello and welcome to a follow-up video about this, the Epson ET4550 printer. Now this is a multi-function printer, and if you want to know all the pros and cons about this device, have a look at my other video. There's a link to it in the description below. Now after I posted my review, I received lots of comments, and thank you very much for everybody who sent feedback. I really appreciate it. And one of those comments was from somebody called Daniela Easter. Hi Daniela, thanks very much for your comment and for enjoying the video. It's lovely to hear from you. Now, she is an artist and she works very often with children. And unsurprisingly, the children slop paint and water and goodness knows what all over the place. What she wants to do is to print out worksheets for the children who then paint over the design that's on the worksheet. And she asked a question, quite a valid question, I think a great one that I didn't cover in my review, which is, are the inks from this printer waterproof? And specifically, are they waterproof on cardboard? So, or card, rather than cardboard. So I've got here a scrap of card. Now this is, I can't remember the weight of this now, it's not massively weighty card. At a guess, I suppose it's probably about 160 grams, something like that. So it's not thick card, but it is card. It's just a scrap piece on the end of you know, that I'm not really going to get much use out of for anything else. What I'm going to do is to print something onto this piece of card, and then I haven't got any paint as such that I can slosh on it, but I'm going to slosh some water on it and we'll see what happens. So here's the test. So the first thing we're going to do before we print is make sure that the paper type on the printer is set to matte, and then when I print from my Mac, I'm going into the system settings, selecting the printer, going into the media and quality settings, and then making sure from the media type that I'm actually choosing photo matte paper, just so that the printer and the computer both match. Right, it's now about 15 minutes later, because I wanted to print something out, which I have done here, and give it a chance to dry for a bit. Now I've got no idea really how long you should leave things to dry for when they come out of the printer, but like I say, I've given it a good 15, probably nearly 20 minutes since I printed this out. Now, the other piece of equipment that we need for this experiment is a paintbrush. So I have just a little thin brush here and some water. And now what I'm going to do is to slosh some water on the print. So let's give that a go. Let's just put a little bit of water on the brush. And let's just randomly paint. Now I would say, yeah, that red on there is maybe running a little bit. It's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. Let's zoom in a bit and let's have another go. Yeah, you can see here actually it is yeah, it's running a little bit actually. I don't know whether that's enough for it to be, I mean, that I've made the brush there is quite wet. Yes, it's not a very big brush. I've made it quite wet. You can see there when I'm going across the faces on here where that was quite a flat colour. Yeah, I don't know. It's not really smudging though, is it? It's just where it's going. It's just where it's going wet. It's just where I'm making it wet, and I expect when that dries, it won't be so bad. And of course it would depend very much on the weight of the card that you're using. And this isn't particularly thick card. It is card. It is what you class as card, but it's not thick card. So it might have a lot to do with that. Well, what I'll do is I'll leave that for a few moments and then we'll bring it back in. Just by way of a comparison, and I have a very good idea that I know what's going to happen now, is that I have here just a piece of 80 gram A4 paper, just normal photocopy papers. There's nothing flash here at all, and I kind of think I know what's going to happen here. That it hasn't really got anything particularly to do with the inks. It's more to do with the fact that this is just really thin paper, and when you put water on thin paper like this, it's fairly obvious what's going to happen. So this isn't a particularly wonderful test, but I think it shows actually just how resilient these inks are, even on really bog standard paper. This is not really particularly, it's not thick paper. It's 80 gram A4 photocopy paper, that. And I actually think that we've sort of done, that's done quite well, really. I'm quite impressed with that. That's okay. That's just normal paper. Yeah, it was going through the other side, but then you'd expect that. It's A4 paper. Let's get the card back, just have a final look at that. Now what I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to run my fingers across it. I'll give it a chance to dry just for a few moments. And let's just run my fingers across it actually. I'm pretty impressed by that. That's not really that bad. Okay, now maybe if I'd left it to dry a little bit longer, the ink, I only gave it 15 minutes, it would be even better. But that's, considering I sort of sloshed really quite a wet brush on there. Yeah, I don't know whether that answers your question, Daniela. I really don't, because you're an artist and I'm a fool. But, I hope that's been of some help. I think it does, so that's quite good. Actually, my wife does sort of crafts and card making and that sort of thing. And I know she's got some watercolour pencils that she uses sometimes when she's printing things out. And I'm sure it would be fine with those. So she'll be interested in that, because I know she hasn't used that yet since we've had this printer. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I hope that's of some use to you, and it wasn't just a complete waste of your time, because that is time, let's face it, none of us are ever going to get back. So that's it, a quick follow-up video to my review of the Epson ET4550 scanner, in which I hopefully answered Daniela's question about whether the inks from this printer are or are not waterproof. If you enjoyed this or any of the other videos, then I'd love it for you if you subscribed and maybe give me a thumbs up as well. You can find out all sorts about me and about my general day-to-day ramblings on Twitter, Instagram, and also on my blog, which is now at andyclayton.blog, following the launch of the new .blog domain extension. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.